Welcome to Interastra. Take your time. No matter what business you're in, we'll have a ship for you. Take your time. Thank you for choosing Interastra.
Leap cooperation. Optimize, iterate, refine. Security services will respond to aggressive actions. We ask pilots to disarm. Enter the facility immediately.
future presidency. President-elect Felicia Winters has discussed her election victory and other topics during an interview with the Federal Times. On defeating Vice President Jerome Archer, one cannot dispute that Archer played his campaign straight, with none of the underhanded tricks utilized by some of his predecessors. But the election results proved that the citizens wanted change from the Republican Party's bombastic approach. On the priorities for her forthcoming administration, our government will expand investment in the Federation's soft infrastructure, pulling the economy's focus away from military projects and corporate profits. Many systems are in dire need of improved healthcare, housing and work opportunities. Billions of people need temporary financial support as refugees from the Thargoid invasion. We are not the Empire. We serve our people rather than rule over them. On the Proactive Detection Bureau, my very first task in office will be to dismantle this monstrosity, ending the surveillance of private communications. The Federal Intelligence Agency is perfectly capable of protecting our people without violating their personal freedoms. On the Thargoid War, I can assure everyone that while I lack the enthusiasm for war that my predecessor demonstrated, my administration takes office with the Thargoid invasion as a top priority. Aegis has led the way in developing new anti-Xeno technologies, and federal support for the agency will continue. Many federal news feeds congratulated Felicia Winters on her success in the election, but an editorial in Seoul today said, "Without Zachary Hudson's strength of will, or Jerome Archer's dedication to security, there's every possibility that the Federation will rot from within." You can expect to see all manner of fringe groups and minorities grab the lion's share of funding, while freeloaders and criminals get a free pass. We predict that Winters will go down in history as one of the weakest presidents ever. Felicia Winters elected as federal president. The Federation has voted to elect Felicia Winters as its next president, with a 4% vote majority over her rival Jerome Archer. The current shadow president of the Liberal Party will be officially inaugurated in the new year, entering an 8-year term of office. Congressman Isolde Rochester will also be sworn in as vice president in Winters' administration. President Zachary Hudson will remain in power during the transition period, but will not be expected to implement any major policy changes. The Liberal Party will replace the Republican Party as the superpower's governing authority in 3310, with Jerome Archer assuming the role of shadow president. President-elect Winters addressed her supporters during a celebratory rally in Olympus Village on Mars. The people of the Federation have spoken. I thank you all for turning my party's vision into a reality. My aim is to govern fairly for everybody, regardless of their political allegiance. Together we will create optimism when there was fear, give shelter those who are vulnerable, and improve the quality of life for each and every federal citizen. Vice President Jerome Archer formally conceded the election during a session of Congress. My compliments to Felicia Winters, who fought a strong campaign. I look forward to taking on the role of shadow president next year and ensuring that her government's proposals are thoroughly scrutinized from day one. Former Presidents Antonia Madison and Jasmine Halsey, whom Winters temporarily replaced after the Starship One disaster, offered their congratulations. Prime Minister Edmund Marn of the Alliance, First Minister Octavia Volkov of the Marnanist colonies, and CEO Li Yongrui of Sirius Corporation sent similar messages to the Winters campaign. No formal acknowledgement was received from the Empire. However, Princess Aisling Deval joined Professor Albert Tesreau and other members of Aegis leadership to state, "We trust that President Winters will remain committed to our unified approach, ensuring the development of technology needed to secure victory in the ongoing Thargoid War." Federal election. The Allied perspective. The Alliance is observing the federal president election, but expects little will change in relationships between the two superpowers. Prime Minister Edmund Marn delivered a formal address on the topic before the Assembly. The Alliance continues to enjoy stable relations with the Federation. Our recent anti-Xeno coalitions, including the reformation of Aegis,
Frameshift drive charging.
show how we can benefit from maintaining such good
To engage.
cooperation. I am confident.
3, 2, 1.
direct statement to the press. I cannot ignore how the Federation has become more authoritarian under Zachary Hudson's Republican government. It has also coped poorly with internal pressures. The Starship One conspiracy, Jupiter Division's attempted coup, the secession crisis triggered by the Proactive Detection Bureau's operation. The list goes on. And yet, federal democracy is now empowering every individual to elect their leaders. That, at least, is something we in the Alliance should admire and consider adopting. Vanya Driscoll, political correspondent for the Alliance Tribune, reported. Most allied politicians are too diplomatic to openly express a preference between the two candidates. Privately, councillors like Kane are hopeful of a more nuanced relationship with Winters, who lacks the hawkish rhetoric of Hudson. However, others believe that Archer's focus on military spending and domestic security might prove more practical in the face of the Thargoid invasion. The latest voting polls from federal systems show that Jerome Archer has overtaken Felicia Winters, albeit by a narrow margin. The voting window ends on the 15th, with the results verified by Monday to determine the victor of the 3,309 federal presidential election. Federal election. The Imperial perspective. As the Federation readies itself for a new president, the Empire is preparing. Changes to its relationship with its historical rival. Last year, Emperor Arison Lavalete Duval severed all official collaboration with the other.
Leesti, Tierra, and Charlie Echo, welcome to this Alliance facility, Commander. Hope we can be of service.
Superpowers, except for limited contributions to Aegis. But this does not mean the Empire is ignoring the potential impact of either Jerome.
Approval grant. Make your way to landing pad 06.
Or Felicia Winters becoming the next federal president. Senator Denton Patrias remarked on the election during a military parade through the city of Port Isabel. The Federation's leaders always reinforce their popularity by framing the Empire as the great enemy. I expect Archer will have those same aggressive tendencies. In truth, I'd prefer to deal with that predictable approach, since Winters is clearly the more cunning and deceitful candidate. Princess Aisling Duval was asked her opinion while visiting a xenology seminar hosted by the Achenar Research Council. I must admit that Felicia Winters' style of governance is more appealing, though she should be mindful of her running mate's influence. But whoever becomes president must break the cycle of hostility between Empire and Federation. My fruitful collaboration with other Aegis delegates
Lighting gear deployed.
and act success against the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army is evidence of how effective inter-superpower cooperation can be. The election was also discussed by Cassia Carvalho, political journalist for the Imperial Herald. The average Imperial citizen has little interest in the Federation's internal work.
Ship is down. Ground crew dispatched.
Anxiety in the Senate is high. With the Thargoid War still raging, the prospect of a new president seeking to stamp their authority on the interstellar stage is a major concern. Conversely, some captains of industry anticipate a new era of trade with a friendlier Federation if the Emperor can be convinced to rescind her isolationist decree. Voting within federal systems has been running for 24 hours, and polling suggests Felicia Winters holds a slight lead over Jerome Archer. The election will run for another 3 days. Sol celebrations end as election begins. Pilots Federation alert. The Federation has begun voting to decide its next president as a week of festivities in the Sol system are concluded. Congress confirmed that any pilots who supplied rare goods for the celebratory events can collect payment from the Qingzhou starport. All temporary system permits for Sol remain suspended for pilots Federation members for a further week. The 3,309 presidential election has now officially begun. More than 1 trillion federal citizens are expected to submit
Incoming message.
votes, which will be recorded and collated over the next 4 days via secure digital systems. Vice President Jerome Archer is the Republican Party candidate who is widely perceived as the political heir to President Zachary Hudson. His running mate is Congressman Nico Shirakawa, who has strong connections within the military. Shadow President Felicia Winters, leader of the Liberal Party, is the rival candidate and a proponent of more humanitarian-focused policies. She is on a presidential ticket with Congressman Isolde Rochester, matriarch of the famous Rochester dynasty. Sophia Trevino, political correspondent for the Federal Times, commented, following months of delay, logistical issues caused by the Thargoid War, plus the drama surrounding Zachary Rackham, voting is finally underway. Analysts believe this could be one of the closest run elections in the Federation's history, reflecting the polarization that has taken